This is just the kind of fate I might expect for one such as she. Surely Emmett Selk has recognized the hint of her in you?
By the gods.
Holy shit! That's freaking huge! Oh my god! It's like New York City, baby! Oh my god! Whoa! What? Oh my god!
I did not think they meant an actual city.
That's what I was gonna say, Alphano. I was expecting like a little outpost, maybe. Holy shit. Hey, you guys knew I was coming for the youth for current. Look, they were like, if we wait over here, his little squirrel brain will come over. Oh my god! Oh my god! What? Holy shit! Oh my god, chat. So this is what it would have looked like, huh? Back in the olden days. What a beautiful soundtrack as well. We will be back on Monday, and we will journey into this city.
3 days later.
Ooh, hello, look at this. Holy shit, it does extend around quite far, doesn't it? And it isn't that it's just like wide and all-encompassing. It's the fact that it's got like some verticality to it too. Is this the actual genuine Amaurot? Because I'm guessing there exist upon each of the reflections. I'm guessing there exists versions of this place because they're all copies of the source, right? But I'm surprised at just how well maintained it is, which makes me wonder if there are people that live here, and that's scaring me a little bit. Look, over there. Is that a person? No, my mistake. That's a giant. It doesn't seem to have noticed us yet. Giant or no, a resident of this place may have much and more to tell us. I say we make the first move. Alphano, you can't just... Mr. Diplomacy is at it again. Oh shit. Pray excuse my boldness, but might I ask you a few questions? Oh my god, they're huge! What? Whoa! Okay, robed giant. With the same text box as we've become accustomed to seeing with Scions. To the corkboard. No, I'm joking. We're not doing any of that. Oh, what adorable costumes. Are you children on an excursion? This district has much to teach you. How odd. That sounded like no language I've ever heard, and yet I understood every word. Just as he understood us. And which district is this exactly? You must be lost, poor things. You stand in the Polylerite district, wherein lie the institutions most vital to the management of our star. I've not had enough coffee today, champ. I've got to wake up. Because I need to be paying a lot of attention. Can you tell us where to find Emmett Selk? Can you tell us who rules this city? I won't mention Emmett by name. I want to see what they say. Who rules? What a curious question. Mayhap you refer to our supervising body, the Convocation of 14. Interesting. How many people did we count on that mural, chat? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh no, 14. There are 14 people surrounding him. And what number Final Fantasy are we playing? Oh my god. Hardly surprising, I suppose. The whole world holds its breath as the final days draw near, and our brightest minds race to implement their plans. The final days. Capitalized means it's important. To my eyes, these people appear as arcane entities. I suspect Emmett Selk wove them from ether, much as he reconstructed the rest of the city. The final days. Such words well befit the oblivion described to us by our Ascian foe. A catastrophe. I didn't know what he was going to say there. Catastrophe of unprecedented scale, which did set in motion the summoning of Zodiac, and thence Hythlodaeus herself. But that happened centuries and centuries ago, didn't it? That man spoke as if they were rushing to avert a disaster here and now. Unless, for these people, the distant past is the here and now. I believe thou hast the right of it, Master Alphinaud. This ethereal Amaurot and its residents appear to be phantoms of a different age. Emmett Selk has resurrected a memory, a moment in time from before the star was sundered. Resurrected a memory. So what we're seeing, I'm guessing, isn't tangible. I don't know whether the city is a part of that memory or if the city is a physical, tangible thing. I'm guessing so because we just rode the elevator. Never mind. Theory immediately debunked. But maybe that person doesn't exist. So we find ourselves in a long-destroyed city inhabited by the long-departed. An unusual situation to be sure, but at least we're able to parley with these ancients. In fact, they seem downright eager to chat. I say we use this to our advantage. Split up and strike up some conversations and see if we can't learn the location of our quarry. And while we're at it, it wouldn't hurt to wheedle out a few more details regarding this convocation of 14 and their impending disaster. So I'm guessing this final days thing is what we saw in the mural. That was the end of the world. How do they describe it? I think they described it as a calamity. Or when I say they, I mean Emmett during the mural monologue. To mingling then. Let's meet back here when our jaws start aching. To mingling. Oh my goodness. Oh, look! Oh, this is so surreal. Oh. My God. You really get the sense of scale, don't you, when you're literally like you're a child. They look at you like a child. That's what I'm struggling to wrap my head around. Like, if this place exists on the source, or did exist on the source, and I know there's been 7 calamities which have wrought destruction on a level, you know, we can't even comprehend. But I'm surprised there hasn't been at least one, just something somewhere, you know, like a little antique relic. Who knows? Who knows what? Debate facilitator? Hold on. We've got to have a good look over here. What is... Look how big the seats are. Oh, it's so cool. Debate facilitator. Is this like the bell I meant to ring? I don't know if I can hit it. How may I help you, little one? Do you wish to peruse the transcripts of the great debates, or would you like to reserve a room for a discussion? We are here to serve your needs. I'd love to read some transcripts, but I'm guessing that's off the cards. What a precocious little child! One can never be too young to take an interest in the rhetorical arts. Welcome, little one. Welcome. It would seem the hall is host to a most precocious visitor this day. And what, pray tell, shall be the subject of our discussion, young one? Ah, the convocation and the handling of the coming peril. It is only natural that you should have questions. Shall we begin with the members themselves? As all know, the 14 are the wisest and most puissant among us. They are the stewards of order, responsible for decisions which keep this star turning season after season. Okay. Wait, so... assuming this convocation of 14 are the same 14 individuals we see on the mural, right? Who are now, as we know them, the Scions. They are the ones responsible for summoning Zodiac. Like, the way I'd envisioned it before was that they were like a splinter group, maybe like a faction within this ancient civilization which sort of went against the grain and were like, well, none of you are acting, we're gonna summon this dark god who's gonna save us. But no, they were the leadership. That's really surprised me. Which makes me now worried about who exactly was responsible for summoning Hythlodaeus. Are we the splinter group? Because I wasn't expecting that. Be it the speaker, Laha Brea, or the emissary, Elidibus, each seat is occupied by an elected sage of surpassing intellect. Logrif, Metron, Emetselk, their individual titles have, as a gesture of respect and a matter of tradition, become synonymous with their incumbents. Thus, it is with great incredulity that I agree to this recent rumor that a seat in the convocation is soon to be left vacant. If proven true, it would be an unprecedented development and testament to the immense pressure under which our saviors are toiling. In any event, I for one am confident they shall deliver our star unto salvation. Oh, I love how the text is even pink in the chat box. So there was a rumor that one of these 14, so someone allegedly from this 14 is going to drop out due to the immense pressure that they're under. I was just about to say I wonder if one of them is about to like pass away or something. Maybe that's the reason, but no. Good gracious, child, where is your family? You should not be alone at a time like this. Run along home now, quickly. Have you not heard? Though yet confined to the lands across the sea, a terrible phenomenon afflicts our star. They're calling it the final days. Interesting. Yet confined to the lands across the sea. 'Tis said it starts suddenly, a cacophonous keening from beneath the earth. The sound distorts all living things within earshot and wrests from us control of our creation magics. Once that happens, all is lost. Fear, pain, despair. Every dread impulse is siphoned from our minds and given substance. An eternal fall of fiery rain, an incessant spawning of nightmarish beasts. None can point to the source of the phenomenon. 'Tis as if the star itself has fallen ill, as if a force inimical to life now festers and spreads. 'Tis only a matter of time until Amaurot too resounds to that discordant squall. You should stay with your loved ones, child. Stay with them. Chat, my theory all along was that this, up until now, unnamed catastrophic event was Omega. Like, whatever the Omega protocol was. I don't know why that's where I gravitated towards, but I don't know. The image of the mural with, like, fire raining from the skies, that made me think, something from beyond, maybe. Maybe an Omega thing. Maybe loads of them. But no, this sounds completely different. Confined to the lands across the sea, a terrible phenomenon afflicts our star. They call it the final days. An eternal fall of fiery rain and an incessant spawning of nightmarish beasts. I know a lot of you probably can't say anything right now because of spoiler territory, but I was not expecting a lore dump of this level so quickly. And in truth, I thought the city would be vacant. I didn't think there'd be anything here. This is the Bureau of the Architect, little one. If you require assistance, I should be glad to assist you. But are you certain this is where you should be? Not at all. This is your first time here. Take a number if you haven't already, then settle in for a good long wait. I'm kind of taken aback that that is the system they're using, you know. Welcome to the Bureau of the Architect, little one. I should be glad to assist you in locating the concept you seek after I have finished assisting those ahead of you in the queue. Love a queue. Love a queue. An audience with Emmett Selk? I'm afraid you have the wrong office, little one. Besides, he'll be far too busy to field the questions of curious children. Surely you have been told of the looming catastrophe. Every resource available to the convocation must be spent upon ensuring our world survives. They have yet to make an official announcement, but it is said that the 14 are moving forward with a plan of scarce, credible proportions, one which promises to grant will to the very star itself. They will invoke our mightiest spells of creation to birth an entity of all-encompassing magnificence, and then they will rewrite the laws of existence. It is a huge undertaking, and it must be completed ere the corruption spreads as far. Thus, I say to you again, do not hold out hope for an audience. The game's asking me to go back. Oh, hello. There's an aetheryte crystal over there, though, and I really want it. I'm doing it. Wow, look at that. Now that we're close, look at that. Aetheryte crystal. That looks really cool. I love how creative they get with aetheryte crystals as you progress. Oh, yeah. 100%. That's one of my favorite things about going to a new zone. Like a new land, more so than anything. I'm interested to find out how the city is so well maintained. We're being told that this is a memory given life, essentially, by Emmett. I'm guessing that's what these phantom shades are. These, like, ghostly apparitions are those memories made manifest. But I'm wondering if all of these buildings have been glamored in a way. Like, what if they are, like, rubble and ruin, and he's just sort of, like, maintaining this illusion? Did you guys find anything out while we were busy? Well, that was an experience. I was never very fond of being treated like a child, but it did make asking questions less suspicious. Endy, if I was not certain before, then I am now. The people of this city believe they face the end of the world. I cannot imagine what purpose compelled Emmett Selk to recreate this ancient Amaurot. And yet, I fancy I hear his words to us echoing throughout this ocean trench. He would have his story known. Alphino is awaiting the return of your other companions. We can compare notes once the others return. Hopefully then our next move will become clear. It would seem our conversations were much alike. A looming disaster, creation magics running rampant, and this convocation's efforts to bring salvation out of chaos. I suppose there was talk of little else in the time when these events came to pass. Urianger, if I may, what are your thoughts on the ancients' art of creation? A fascinating discipline indeed. Aught the mind can conceive may be rendered in reality. All that is required is a clear concept upon which to focus one's will. It is not dissimilar to the primal rites taught by the Scions, wherein ritual ceremony breatheth life into figments of myth and legend. I see we arrived at the same conclusion then. The people who lived in the age before the Sundering were blessed with vast reserves of mana. No matter how draining these creation magics must be, it seems they paid the cost with naught more than a fraction of the ether which coursed through their own bodies. If we were to attempt the same, such spells would soon deplete our energies, and then seek to draw the balance from elsewhere, from a hoard of crystals mayhap, or from the very land itself. Thus, when this art of creation was placed into our hands, it became, in effect, a means for destruction. An interesting matter which no doubt bears further study, but despite all these revelations, I worry we are no closer to finding Emmett Selk. Has anyone learned aught which might lead us to his location? Not directly mayhap, but from what we've heard, it seems the convocation of 14 is sequestered in a nearby Capitol building. When we went to see for ourselves, the attendant wouldn't let us through without a right of permission. So we tried our luck at the Bureau of the Administrator, where we thought these permissions might be issued. But the clerk there said he couldn't help us since our names didn't appear in the registry, and that was where we gave up. I wonder though, Endy, could you be eligible for one of these writs? The voice in the lift seemed to know who you were. It might be that your name is registered at the bureaus as well. Worth a look, I'd say. Meanwhile, I'll head back to the capital and search for a less official point of entry, just in case. My mind is being ripped open right now by the game. Then Y'shtola and I will busy ourselves with further exploration. There's surely more intelligence to be had. And so, we part ways once more. This time, however, let us reconvene in front of the capital. If the Ether Current quests provide more info about Amaurot, I'm going to be doing them. I must say, little one, those garments you're wearing, they are your own original concepts, I take it. Clearly they must be, given their rather singular flamboyance. I would never dream of stifling a fledgling creator's creativity, but to parade about in your cultivated individuality is hardly praiseworthy. An Amaurotine of character shares their creations with the community. They do not hoard them for their use alone. To delight in disparity is a mark of the morally deficient. Disparity engenders feelings of want and resentment, which degrade the bonds of fellowship. Thus do we encourage creators to share and share alike, else we risk kindling the embers of covetousness and violence that ever smoulder in the hearts of all. Therefore, I must implore you, little one, to cast aside your original trappings and don the communal robes, that you might acquit yourself as an equal among many. In so doing, you will be afforded greater respect and autonomy. Worry not, for this will be a simple affair. I recall seeing a gentle soul outside the Hall of Rhetoric, carrying robes perfectly suited for one of your diminutive stature. I'm sure they will be glad to share their wealth with you. But do hurry, little one. The eyes of the collective are ever watching and weighing your worth. Great. Quite literally judging my glamour. How very well dare he. You mustn't carry on in those garments a moment longer, little one. Seek out that gentle soul I spoke of, the one I saw outside the Hall of Rhetoric, and pray that they will have those robes that should fit your tiny form. Fantastic. Oh, aren't we looking rather smart this evening? What can I do for you, little one? I'm here for a robe, please. Apparently my glamour's shit. Robes to serve in lieu of your ensemble. Ah, how prudent. Alas, I have nothing I can offer you at this present time. The ones your associates saw me carrying earlier were a failed experiment. I never intended to make them so small, so I disposed of them shortly thereafter. A failed experiment? Question mark? By your bemused expression, I gather you find it odd that your elders can fail in so simple an application of creation magics. It is more common than you may realize, little one. In this instance, a gaggle of children was passing by as I held the image of the robes in my mind's eye. Simply by becoming aware of their presence was the form influenced and the final product changed. All things considered, it could have been worse. But the other day I was attempting to conceive a white-haired lion, when all of a sudden this exquisite eagle alighted on the nearby railing, giving me quite the shock and dramatically altering my initial concept. When they mentioned creation magics earlier and how it worked, I didn't fully grasp just how powerful it was. I'll keep going, sorry. I'll learn more before I start talking about it. Yes, indeed. It was a most unexpected development, but not an altogether unwelcome one. Great strides are often born from unexpected impetuses. But even inspiration has its limits. For all the wonders we have wrought, I do wonder if there will come a time when we have fully explored the potential of our powers, when there is truly nothing left unmade, and only iteration and imitation and stagnation remain. But such esoteric matters need not concern you, little one. For now, I would encourage you to embrace your creativity and work your magics without fear of failure. Nevertheless, it would still be in your best interests to don the appropriate robes to avoid excess scrutiny. Why don't you go to the Bureau of the Architect and request the appropriate concept so you can fashion one yourself? I mean, I can try. Before I go there, I'll quickly go in here and grab the next quest. Oh, they have to kneel down every time they talk to me. You may as well fashion the robes you seek yourself. Oh, it's exactly the same. Okay. Sometimes their dialogue's a bit different. Greetings, little one. Come to debate, and at so young an age. How wonderful. Shall we retire to the benches and settle on a topic? My apologies for jumping to conclusions. My friends are not quite as fond of the Hall of Rhetoric as I am, so I have a habit of chatting up any potential conversation partners. So if you're not here to debate, I presume you are here to learn about the mysterious and esoteric goings-on here. It would be my pleasure to act as your tutor in these matters, if you will indulge me. The Hall of Rhetoric is, as its name indicates, a place where citizens may freely gather to discuss and debate all manner of topics. The central forum is ideal for open discourse, but smaller rooms are available for those desiring more intimate conversation. Oh, and there is a wealth of reading material concerning rhetorical techniques and history penned by the greatest minds on offer as well, should you wish to refine your techniques through self-study. To my mind, however, Rhetoric is a living, breathing thing that is best experienced in the moment of conception and execution. Perhaps a demonstration would best serve to further your education. I saw a contemporary of mine engaged in a lively debate earlier, just outside the hall. Go and see if they are still there and issue to them my personal invitation to a friendly battle of wits. Okay. But that is precisely my point, that their obsession with this so-called mandate to approve only the most beneficial concepts for wider distribution, never mind the ridiculous subjectivity of their criteria, has led the Bureau of the Architect astray from its original purpose. Huh? Have you business with me, child? Regardless, I'm in the middle of a heated discussion with my partner. Come back later. No. My position has nothing to do with the intrinsic value of unique identity and whether or not it is retained. Rather, I posit that the... I literally said posit the other day, and now every time I hear it or read it, I'm like, I said that. Unironically, using posit in a sentence. Rather, I posit that the reproductions of a given concept are inherently imperfect, and thus they are themselves unique, albeit in minor but significant degrees. And most importantly, this variance is not to be condemned, but celebrated, better than to strive in vain for an impossible standard that, even if met, would leave us lesser for lack of diversity. The Amaurotines appear to be engrossed in their debate, utterly deaf to you and your pleas for attention. I bet Endy is enjoying this part of the story. June, it's great. It's fantastic. And for anyone who's now joining in wondering, yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's really good. My mind is slowly unraveling. But yeah. I feel like every line of dialogue is another question, which I'm like, oh, we can theorize about that. Like, I can't even get into it. There's so many different things I could discuss, but in the interest of actually progressing today, I'm trying not to spend too much time idly standing by theorizing. Because I want to learn more. My, aren't you a stubborn little bugger? It's strangely endearing, I must admit, but we have all the time in the world. Why are you so insistent that I speak with you in this very instant? Somebody inside want to have a battle of wits. You are acquainted with that chatterbox. I suppose I do owe them a debate or two, and now is as good an occasion as any, so be it. So you're to be an observer? No, that will not do. You must be an active participant. You must engage in the discourse. Only by doing that will you learn and grow, little one. Okay, I'll happily join you in your discussion. I see you found my friend. Thank you, little one. Then without further ado, let us commence the promised debate. I love that this is such a prominent part of their civilization, their culture, is this debate hall, right? Where people can just go and debate matters. I think it speaks to the level of society they were living in at the time as well, of like this was a frequent pastime for them to enjoy, you know? As to the matter of what subject we shall discuss today, or debate today, I propose the recent calamity which has befallen our friends across the pond. What say you? The singular point of contention is, of course, whether or not Amaurot should intervene on their behalf. I believe we should. The scale of the disaster which threatens that distant metropolis is of a scale heretofore unseen, and so equally considerable resources must be committed to counteracting its effects. I disagree. The scale concerns me less than the nature of the proposition itself. Who are we to unilaterally intervene in the affairs of those half a world away? Are we to be the saviors of one and all? Such arrogance may well lead to our own downfall. While I understand your concerns from a philosophical standpoint, I fear you are too quick to dismiss practical considerations out of desire to maintain an unassailable moral authority. But let us, you and I, hold here for the present and offer the floor to our young student. You have heard our opening salvos in this debate concerning the fate of our neighbours across the sea. What is your opinion on the matter? To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. Or, we cannot save everyone. Sometimes, it is all we can do to save ourselves. We cannot save everyone, sometimes it is all we can do to save ourselves, is very true, and it very much depends on the situation at hand. Given that this is like a world-ending threat, though, I'm going to go with to ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. Indeed. The same can be said regardless of one's opinion on the morality of intervention. There is a clear and undeniable benefit to Amaurot in using this situation as a testbed for our newest creations, that we might develop and refine our defenses against a potential threat to our own fair city. I can't wait to learn more about their creation magics and what they were able to create. Oh, are they able to create life as we know it? I don't know if that's been mentioned before, but that's another interesting one. If you could like envision like a, I don't know, a chocobo, right? Can they go, there, chocobo. How readily you cede the moral high ground. Was not our Young's friend point that we have an ethical obligation to aid those in need? Yet not only do you instead elect to focus on the benefit to Amaurot alone, but you also deprive our distant neighbors of the agency to determine their own fate. You misunderstand me. What benefits Amaurot benefits all creation. I firmly believe, for the knowledge and wisdom we stand to gain from intervention can then be shared with others, empowering everyone to more effectively surmount similar trials in the future. I'm now immediately fascinated by who this other civilization is. This metropolis across the waves, across the oceans. Who is that? Previously, we didn't know anything of what happened before the calamity, the first calamity, before the sundering. Slowly over the course of Shadowbringers, we're taught, oh, by the way, there was this city, it's Amaurot, and yeah, there was these people who lived there, and yeah, and then they made Zodiac and Hythlodaeus in it. It's like, oh, okay, interesting. And now we're learning that aside from them existing in this ancient era, there also existed another, like a metropolis. That's a very important word. It's not like they're dealing with some sort of like sentient creature. A metropolis would indicate a high level of society, I would say. Who's that? Did they all perish? Did they live? Who knows? I want to know. I must say, it has been far too long since I engaged in such a refreshing exchange of ideas. My colleague was equally delighted by the opportunity, you may be assured. Some decry it as little more than an academic exercise after all. We failed to reach a meaningful consensus, but I dare say they missed the forest for the trees. Are we not more enlightened by the experience? Have we not been exposed to a greater variety of viewpoints? Is there not value in this alone? I truly believe we are blessed to be part of a society that exalts the free exchange of ideas, and that encourages active participation in the public discourse. This may have been no more than your first foray into the exciting world of rhetoric, but I sense you have the soul of a debater in you. Souls, chat. I know I'm getting a bit too tinfoily here, but still. You may well have the potential to change Amaurot in ways no one ever thought possible. I shall be watching your trajectory with great interest, my young friend. I have high expectations for you, my little debater. If you ever wish to hone your skills with a spirited conversation or two, I would be overjoyed to engage you. And hey, what they've just discussed in there, sorry, my brain is racing. What they've just discussed in there is something that I wish we had more of, you know, the ability to debate and have conversations like that is a rarity nowadays, and I think that where we are, like this chat room, we're able to engage in like good conversation, good debates, without people taking it as a personal affront to them, which is nice. You know, we've got a little bit of that here, which is cool. The final days. We're still no closer to understanding what is the cause of it, though. That's been my question since we saw the mural, is what caused it. Greetings and welcome to the Bureau of the Architect. Are you in need of assistance? It would be my pleasure to answer any questions you might have. To your left is the counter where you may submit registrations for new creations. To your right, you will find the counter where you may requisition concepts on file. Concepts? Am I correct in assuming you are not familiar with the services we provide? I see. A more detailed explanation is in order then. You understand that by harnessing the powers of creation, we can give physical form to all manner of concepts, yes? Picture a bouquet of fresh, fragrant flowers, all the colors of a rainbow. Now, picture those self-same flowers formed of delicate crystal, impossibly fragile and radiating hues beyond the visual spectrum. Every day our people push the boundaries of imagination to conceive new and striking designs like these. But there are limits to what a single individual can shape with their abilities alone. Those who harbor greater ambitions may offer their concepts to others here, that they might, with the strength of many, accomplish what one cannot. So you can share that vision of the thing. Not all concepts are approved for wider distribution, of course. I'll speak out loud as I'm playing, because I feel like I'm experiencing it and not really giving you guys my thoughts on it. Maybe I am. I feel like I'm not doing it as much. We've learnt, though, when that person earlier was like, yeah, that was a failed experiment, a failed concept. and they said they were trying to create clothes, but then some children walked by and just like having them even slightly like in their mind at the time caused those clothes to come out the size of a child rather than being fit for one of them. I don't know how you're meant to like, say we as humans can do what they do, right? Imagine I'm like, oh yeah, I've got like this really cool vision of a car, right? I need like 5 people to join me in like creating it. And we've all got the car in our heads, but maybe someone's vision is slightly different. I'm guessing that would ruin the final creation. Fascinating idea, and I like the way that they're able to manipulate, I'm guessing, ether to be able to do this, right? I like different magical systems, right? And we've had creation magics, but nowhere to this degree. It's fascinating, very fascinating. Not all concepts are approved for wider distribution, of course. Dangerous, subversive creations pose a risk to everyone, and so it is only after a comprehensive evaluation, after a concept is judged to further the greater good, that we permit it to be shared with the community. So I'm guessing there's like a council who must veto or allow things then. That's a dangerous precedent if it's to be judged, because you don't know who it's being judged by, you know. Do you understand, little one? I do indeed. Since you are here, I think you might benefit from conversing with some of the others currently availing themselves of our services. Why don't you go and speak with some of the citizens waiting for their registrations to be processed? Much as I would like to believe my explanation was more than sufficient, I expect that you may gain greater insight in this way. Hello, little one. So rare it is to see one of your size roaming about here. Come to learn about the Bureau, are we? I'm here today to register a new creature. Boneless with a semi-translucent skin, it drifts through the air. Like a dancer on a summer breeze, its tentacles trailing behind. It utilizes gas bladders to propel itself from place to place, you see. What are they called? They're outside Uldar, aren't they? No. Limsa. The Aurelias, that's it, yeah! They're outside Limsa, aren't they? They're like one of the hunting logs at the very beginning of the game. And then there's a big boss, Aurelia. I just want to make sure I'm remembering that right. Yeah? That's cool. Okay, very cool. I'll admit, it's not the most elegant of designs. I'd not shed a tear if it were rejected, quite frankly. But what can I say? I take pleasure in conceiving unorthodox designs. A beginner like you shouldn't take after me, though. If you're looking to pick up a few tips, you should probably ask someone else. Is that my number they just called? If you'll excuse me. What is, what I'm trying to think about as I'm playing through this is, again, what was the cause of this final days? Who was behind it? And can we glean a reason why it happened? The one thing which we've had in every single quest since arriving here is manipulating ether through using creation magics. Maybe that like invoked the wrath of something. Like maybe that was like a beacon, like a signal. People are like, oh shit, they're messing with creation magics over at here, the star. Maybe we should go and deal with that. I don't know. Are you the child I saw speaking with the attendant earlier? I thought so. So young and already so eager to learn about concepts and creations. That curiosity will serve you well, little one. I've been credited with a few popular concepts, I'm proud to say. I'm hoping that my latest will be equally well received. Autonomous figures. I say my latest, but really it's the product of many others' efforts and individual insights. But such is the case for every masterwork, I reckon. Autonomy notwithstanding, these creations know no fear. They are wholly devoid of emotion and will, without hesitation or resistance, engage in any dangerous activity, even if death is assured. There's a beauty in that, I think, and I hope that the officials do so as well. I tell you, there is nothing more nerve-wracking and thrilling than the waiting period before you receive the result. I love it and hate it with equal measure. Anyway, that's all I've got to say about it. If you're still keen to learn more, why not pester that worrywart over yonder? Welcome to the Bureau of the Architect, little one. Are you here to request a concept for personal use? If so, what sort of concept did you have in mind? This is for my cloak, I believe. Ah, communal robes. That will take but a moment to prepare, but before I fill your request, I should caution you. Pardon me for asking, but your creative potential is, relatively low, is it not? We are trained to assess these things, and I fear that you do not possess the ability to express this concept in physical form. It's almost as though you completely lack it, though that can't possibly be. But regardless of the reason, you needn't worry. We have special tools that may be used to address this very eventuality. I will furnish you with an etheric rope that you can use to restrain one of the misbegotten cubuses. The cubuses? That congregate in the plaza north of the Academia Anida? You will need to weaken your quarry before you can reliably bind them, but once you have, you can repurpose their energies to create, okay, your own robes. Fascinating. We'll do that in a second. Let me finish this quest in here at the minute. You there, an aspiring creator come to learn about the Bureau and its inner workings, I trust. That's all well and good, but since you're here, perhaps you can help me with a little something. I've been refining a concept of mine for some time now, adorable little creatures designed to be the perfect plaything for any young citizen, but I'm still terribly unsure if it's ready to be submitted for approval, which is why I was hoping that you might be the first to put it through its paces and tell me what you think. Your honest opinion. I have no flattery from you, young lady. This matrix will allow you to summon my creations, but don't use it here. Take it outside first, and don't be afraid to play rough. It's all part of the fun. Okay, I've just received a concept matrix. Is this what you just gave me? A curious orb that will allow you to harness the power of creation and give form to the concept within. Any predictions of what I might summon? They're playthings for children. I don't know. It's got to be something we're familiar with, right? Let's have a look. Who's it going to be? Could it be a Furby or a Tamagotchi? Invalid target. Oh. Use the concept matrix outside. Oh, I need to get down here. Okay. I thought I could use it there, my bad. This goes a long way to begin to explain how they were able to summon Zodiac, though. Because it's less that they're summoning Zodiac, and more that they're quite literally manipulating ether through a shared vision. Really cool. Concept matrix. What's it gonna be? Oh, shit! Mischievous plaything? Friend, play with friend? This doesn't seem very friendly. I'm not in for this. I was expecting like a little mini chocobo maybe, but no. A couple of blobs. I'll take it. Jokes aside though, I was walking through my local, like, shopping area of the town I live in, and in the window of, like, the kids' toy shops, they sell, like, buckets of slime. Like, that's like the hot toy at the minute is like slime. So I don't think that's a bad idea. I think if we can work on its aggression factor and maybe condense it into little pots, then maybe he's onto something. How did you find my lovelies? Were they as delighted and engaging as I'd hoped? Tell me everything. Spare no details. I say, they spouted nonsensical phrases and attacked you like mad beasts. How distressing and not at all like what I intended. My sincerest apologies to you, little one, for the unpleasant experience. Still, from these experiences do we grow stronger and wiser. I look forward to the day when you will try your hand at creation too. Now, if our theory is correct, and we possess those fragments of a soul of one of the people who live in Amaurot, I wonder if we do have the capabilities of creation magic. Not necessarily to the same extent as these guys, but there's potential there, you know? Bureau Provisioner. Okay. I wasn't expecting these items to be in his inventory pool, but nice. Bureau Reconditioner. Oh, you can repair my gear. Thank you. I appreciate that. A visitor's writ? Yes, I can assist you. Full name, please. Endy Knight, please wait near the counter while I confirm your details. Okay, I will queue. I will queue and wait. Ye old ancient bait shop, right? Endy Knight, your application is ready for collection. Okay. I feel like I'm Argos, if any fellow Brits can relate to going to Argos with your little ticket. As your residency was approved by Emmett Selk himself, further forms of identification will not be required. Here are your application documents. Submit them at the Bureau of the Secretariat, and the clerk will issue you with a visitor's writ for the capital. Okay, cool. Welcome back, little one. Did you succeed in binding a Cubus? I did. Captured Cubus. As one might expect, the creature is rather less than pleased to have been bound and shoved in your pack. You've done well, little one. Allow me to siphon its energies and prepare the matrix for you. It should only take a moment. Here you are, a creation matrix that you may use to generate your own robes. Fantastic. The concept is inscribed upon the crystal, which has been infused with the ether of the beast you brought me. What? Why are you looking at me as though you do not know how to channel the powers of creation? It is as natural as breathing. Even a newborn babe has the instinct. Even if your potential is lacking, as one of our people, you must surely know what to do. Altered linen cowl. Unable to change gear. Insufficient armory chest space. Oh my god, chat. We'll get there. Hold on. I'm so sorry.
2,000 years later.
Should be enough, I think. Oh, hell yeah, chat. There we go. That is what I'm talking about. I could have just done that. There we go. Sorry. We got there in the end. We got there in the end, guys. Oh, chat, look at us go. I am an Amaurotine myself. Father? Father. It's like, take your child to work day. Oh, and he's gone. Dad. Academia researcher. Hello. An aspiring researcher, I take it. It may seem like a rather complicated pursuit at your age, but I assure you it is simply a matter of adhering to the tried and true methods of observation, supposition, and experimentation. With time and effort, I hope to become a creator to rival Laha Breya, a master of every recognized creation magic, possessed of boundless imagination and willpower to realize impossibly complex concepts, and a renowned orator besides. Welcome to the public offices of the Academia Anaida. The hallowed halls of the Academia itself are restricted to accredited scholars. I think what I'm still struggling to wrap my head around is how there are not even like a small fragment of this world that we've uncovered somewhere in the source. It'd be interesting if upon our return to the source, we go looking for Amaurot. Like, what if it is out there somewhere? But it strikes me as odd that over millennia no one would have uncovered something of this place. Oh my god. There is a gargantuan queue. DMV? Yeah. Oh dear. Use your streamer privilege and skip the line? I couldn't possibly. I must abide by the rules of Amaurot. Didn't they get their stay-at-home orders? I know. I've got to respect the queue. Exactly, Trent. Exactly. Well done, everybody, for joining in on this. This is awesome. There's a queue forming behind me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I need to keep up here. I need to keep up. You have to wait long in the queue so you can turn into a Light Warden. Emmett Selk wins. Oh, no. It's all part of his master plan, isn't it? All part of his master plan. Well, while we're queuing up, gotta say, Amaurot, so far, amazing. Bearing in mind that halfway through Thursday's stream, I had no idea what was going to be here. Not a clue. As far as I was aware, we were going to fight Emmett Selk at this Tempest location in order to maybe save our good boy, Grahar Tia, and then we were going to dip. Never did I imagine in my wildest dreams that preserved beneath these waves on the first would be Amaurot, their utopia that existed before the Sundering. Who could have called this? Who could have called this? Well, the Tempest was underwhelming until we got to that vista of the Amaurot skyline. And it was only underwhelming in the sense that it was the last zone of the expansion, and I was like, there's got to be something more. There's got to be something more. Hello, Secretariat Clerk. How are you? Next, please. I love that that's his first line is next, please, considering we've just been queued for like 5 minutes. Here's my visitor's writ application. Application documents requesting permission to enter the capital as a sanctioned visitor. Oh! I didn't mean to skip it. Visiting capital, are we? Please take a seat. Your name will be called once your application has been processed. I'll process your application in turn. Please take a seat so that others might state their business. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I must go and take a seat. And wait to be called. Okay. Empty seat. I don't know. May I? I love that I've got the robe on. Thank you for giving that to me, Ruby. I love it. You, I think, are from a time beyond ours. Have you followed in the wake of Emmett Selk? Nay, there is no cause for alarm. I am simply a shade, here and not here. I know only that my name is Hythlodaeus, and that this city is a recreation, a phantom moment plucked from the well of history. Nailed it? Get in. Perfect pronunciation? Yes. These others seem unaware of their pale existence, but I wonder if Emmett Selk's mind was distracted when it came to my reconstitution. I can't tell if this Hythlodaeus is a product of Emmett, or if they are indeed corporeal in some way. A stray thought would have been enough. Hythlodaeus will realize the truth, for example. We were close friends once, you see. Okay. Yet, in spite of my perception, I play the same role as all the rest. A bit part, meant to bring color and noise to this well-crafted stage. Too much scrutiny and we shall burst like the fragile bubbles we are. Thus I tell you again, my presence is naught to concern you. I wish only to share your company whilst we wait. So much in the same way that individual accidentally made the clothes too small, there's potential that when Emmett was constructing these shades, he got distracted at a memory of... What did he refer to him as? Was it a friend? Close friends! We were close friends once, you see. If you've come this far, then you know of the catastrophe which awaits us on our morrow. Ah, chat, we're getting a lore bomb, I can feel it. The final days. What began as isolated incidents soon swelled into a world-spanning threat. The Convocation of 14, well, it was 13 at the time, endeavored to create a will for our star. They would repair the fundamental laws of order and halt the spread of destruction. So the 14th seat was made vacant prior to the summoning. But creation on such a scale required an immense source of power. Of those of us who still lived, nearly half offered up their lives in the name of salvation. Right, okay. So Zodiac, as we know them, is comprised of the ether which made up the Amaurotines. Holy shit. And from their sacrifice, Zodiac was born. Just as we had hoped, he reached forth and halted the march of oblivion. Just as we had hoped. So this Hythlodaeus must have been a part of that convocation. Yet, how the star had suffered. So many species lost. The land was blighted, the waters poisoned, and even the wind had ceased to blow. Once more did our people give of themselves to Zodiac. Another half of our race sacrificed to cleanse the world, to ensure that trees and grasses and myriad tiny lives would sprout and grow and flourish. The cycle of life had begun anew, and we reconsidered the means by which we might protect it. The convocation decided thus. We would nurture our world until it was bursting with vitality. Then, when the time was right, we would offer some portion of its living energy to Zodiac. Right, okay. In return, he would restore to us those brethren whose souls had fed his strength, and together we would resume our role as stewards. Right, I see. There were, however, those who disagreed with this plan. They argued that enough had been sacrificed to Zodiac, and that this new world should belong to the lives newly born. These dissidents surrendered their life energies in the creation of Hythlodaeus, an incarnation of those opposing belief, and for the first time in history, our people stood divided. Know you, then, how this conflict ended? That's it. Just a nod. I thought you might. Well, there he is. Emmett Selk has ever been a champion for the will of Zodiac. The original plan may have been set back by millennia, but he will have not abandoned his course. He will pay the price for our return by whatever means is necessary. And though he may carry himself with a certain glib ease, Emmett Selk is not a man to bear his burdens lightly. In fact, I imagine they have only grown heavier with every passing century. 'Tis truly a terrible weight he has chosen to carry. Endy Knight. Okay. While I don't necessarily agree at all with, oh look, it's empty. It seems your turn has come. Pray, do not let me keep you. Ah, the queue's gone. Will it be... There is one last thing. You walk with another at your side, yes? Is that referring to Ardbert? Oh, chills, chat. Oh my god. Oh my god. Nay, I see no definite form. Just the faintest suggestion of a second soul. I doubt it visible to anyone but me. Otherwise, I assume only you can see and hear this ethereal companion. Your connection is hardly a coincidence. In our time, the two of you were one. The color of your souls tells the tale. Holy shit. Minfilia was able to essentially house her soul inside of Reen. What if that's what's happening with us? Where there is one of those 14 shards of a soul inside us. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the answer. Is that what's happening with us and Ardbert? Has his soul latched onto ours? If so, I wonder if Y'shtola's, if Y'shtola could detect him within us. I think I've got it all wrong. I'm thinking that Ardbert is inside of us, and it's his soul within us, which is why we can communicate with him. What if Ardbert is just another back to paint Amaurot citizen, and then let's say they've divided into their 14 parts, right? What if over here in the first, their soul has manifested in, say, Ardbert, but on the source, their soul manifested back into me. That would make a lot of sense. At the beginning of the expansion, I thought we were just... I think my theory was that we were chosen by the 12. Like we were champions chosen by the gods or something. The two of you are one. The color of your souls tells the tale. What color is our soul? Hythlodaeus. More. Give me more. Give me more. Please. A hue that distinctive cannot be mistaken, no matter how thin the soul is spread. What color is it? What color is it? Huh. This is just the kind of fate I might expect for one such as she. Surely Emmett Selk has recognized the hint of her in you? Who? What? What? Endy Knight. Yes, I'm coming. I'm having a revelation over here. Bear with me, clerk. Please. Fare you well, my new old friend. May you find what it is you seek. And they're gone. Ardbert? Holy shit. We are the same person. We possess the same fragment of her. Her. Who is she? Over here in the first, their soul has manifested in, say, Ardbert. Yeah, go on, keep going. But on the source,
Keep
their soul
corking,
manifested
boy.
back
Yeah.
into me. Me. That would make a lot of sense. It would make a lot of sense. And it would explain why we are the respective heroes of the realms. But who is Amaurot citizen? If that is the case, are they potentially one of the people who summoned Hythlodaeus? Because that's the way it seems. It seems like we might be a part of the convocation of 14. Way as are we not referred to as Hythlodaeus chosen? And if the Scions are able to ignite a shard of a soul within somebody and turn them into an Scion, or not an Scion, but we're told that the titles of, say, like Laha, Breya, Emmett Selk. All right, you lose me. How do you watch this guy? That is a great question. Who is Amaurot citizen? We know it's a her. What did he say specifically? Hythlodaeus says, "This is just the kind of fate I might expect for one such as she. Surely Emmett Selk has recognized a hint of her in you. Oh, the mystery person mirrors your gender. Right, so if I was a male aura, they would say him. Okay, thank you. All right. Guys, thank you for joining me here at the DMV. We've had confirmation that Arnber is, in fact, us. Which maybe adds more, it adds credence to the idea that, and again, I mentioned it in that VOD, it adds credence to the idea that because of how the rejoinings have occurred and how many have occurred, we are in possession of now 8/14 of that soul. Can we get, chat, just quickly, we'll do like a victory lap. Can we get a massive, massive round of applause for Zoran? Okay, we're going to go through everybody.
Zoran, Nova, Pear, Berthon, Cubic Pete, Can't Touch This, Axel, Sorley, Makerstay, Asira, Sugarcane, Iggy, Rando, Sign, Nova, The Lovely Defunct, Crit, Pie, Thur, Lemon, Ruby Memoria, Erin aka Amy, and of course, hey Oliver.
Guys, genuinely, thank you so much for putting this all together. This is really special. I really appreciate it. I love how you've all got the robes. You've gone to great lengths to make this extra special for myself and chat, so thank you. I really do appreciate it. Your visitor's writ, as requested. When you wish to gain admittance to the capital, simply present the document to the attendant within. Thanks to everybody. I really do appreciate it. It makes the playthrough all the more special. Like earlier, when T-Rex asked me what was the thing that made me really want to keep playing the game, like what was my, holy shit, this game is good moment. I know I said it earlier, but it really was getting to play with you guys. Both members of the community from before we started playing this game, and obviously members of the community who have joined since. It's great to be able to, you know, essentially rub shoulders with you all in the game, and getting to experience moments like that makes it even more special. I hope they do expand upon all these little threads that we're slowly, like, uncovering. I would love to learn more about what existed here prior to the Sundering, alongside Amaurot and the Amaurotines. Like, who was that metropolis they mentioned earlier? I need to know. Ah, good, you're here. Everyone seems to be present and accounted for. Y'shtola and I have returned from an institution the locals called the Academia Endy. Well, from its public offices at least. We thought an Ascian place of learning the ideal spot to research your condition, and it seems we lack the credentials to enter the Academia proper. Ah, Endy. Master Thancred can best describe our chances for infiltrating the capital. I only hope thine efforts to secure permissions were successful. Finally! You were gone so long. I was on the verge of mounting a rescue party. How fared you in your bureaucratic ventures? Not too badly. And I also ran into an interesting shade, which I hope I discuss with you all. An official writ of permission, granting you entry to the capital as a sanctioned visitor. Ah, I see my instincts were correct. And a good thing too. Urianja and I weighed our chances of breaking into the capital, and an official entrance is by far the more attractive option. The capital boasteth not a single armed sentry. It would seem that in their time they did not deem it needful to post guards. The windows and doors, however, appear heavily warded. Though mightily did we strive, their strength mundane and magical. We failed to budge them, even a fraction of one ilm. Mayhap 'twas simply the case that Emet-Selk's recreation did not extend to their usual function. We didn't try everything, of course, but we thought it best to conserve our time and energy for more pressing matters. Speaking of which, Reen and I tried asking about a cure for you. The problem is, these ancients didn't exist beyond Amaurot's today. They will happily tell their own tales, but whenever we attempted to explain our situation, the conversation quickly became muddled. What have you, Endy? Was aught worthy of interest said during your efforts to obtain a writ? Well, I ran into someone called Hythlodaeus, who, unlike the shades you've encountered, actually would chat with me. A great sacrifice of life in exchange for their brethren's resurrection. And you say all the Ascians' scheming has been leading to this? All this time? But if they still mean to enact this plan, then things won't end with the rejoining. I thought we knew their intentions in full. Restore the world to its former glory and, in turn, empower Zodiac to reclaim his throne as the will of the star. Yet, that was merely a step along the way. I hesitate to put it into words, but we have to assume that following the final rejoining, the Ascians mean to draw on the lives of the Source to make their sacrifice to Zodiac. That does seem like the most likely scenario. Mayhap those who ally with the Ascians would be spared that fate. But what value is there in surviving when all our history, all our struggles will be erased? I cannot conscience such an act. Of course not. And that's to say naught of what Emet-Selch plans for the Exarch's power. Do we stand by and let him threaten our future as well as our past? We need to find him, Endy. And when we do, make your mark. Change the course of history in a way that's felt by those who came before and those who came after. By everyone you've met. Change things so that even my other self, dying somewhere in that future calamity, will smile and say, I knew you would win. Is fighting Emet-Selch the only way? He created an entire city. It will take everything we have to defeat him. If we even can. And if you push that hard in your current state, the light will break free. Maybe that's what called, Hythlodaeus to us. Remember, just before they appeared, we had that, like, light cracking thing happen to us. What if that was like a beacon to call them to us in some way? I don't know. The decision to press on lies with you, just as it lies with each and every one of us. A greater purpose. I tell you what I'm surprised by. Like, these are... Look, level 8... Oh, shit.